Let's head straight towards Indore first. A laboratory investigation has confirmed that contaminated drinking water caused vomiting and diarrhea outbreak that has claimed at least 13 lives and affected over 200 residents in the Bhagirathpura area of Indore. The outbreak has raised some serious questions about drinking water safety in Indore, which ranked India's cleanest city for last 8 consecutive years. The water supplied through the Narmada pipeline in Bhagirathpura has been tested, and the report reveals the presence of bacteria such as fecal coliform bacteria, E. coli bacteria and Klebsiella in the samples. These bacteria can cause vomiting and diarrhea. According to reports, some of the samples also contained elements like Vibrio cholerae, which are found in cholera. So far, 80 samples have been tested and some of the reports have been received too. According to sources, the detailed laboratory reports may take 1 to 2 days to arrive. Meanwhile, local BJP councillor Kamar Waghela has written a letter to Chief Minister Mohan Yadav alleging grave criminal negligence and administrative delays by civic officials which led to this tragic death. So that's about the bacteria that has been found as of now. Let me again tell you that the water supplied through the Narmada pipeline in Bhagirathpura has been tested, and the report has revealed the presence of multiple bacteria such as fecal coliform bacteria, E. coli bacteria and Klebsiella in these samples. These bacteria are responsible for causing vomiting and diarrhea. And in fact, according to reports, some of the samples also contain elements like Vibrio cholerae, which are found in cholera.
जिस दिन घटना हुई थी उसके बाद हम लगातार नर्मदा का भी सप्लाई कर रहे हैं और उसमें हम लोगों को अनाउंसमेंट कर रहे हैं सुबह 5 बजे से कि ये जो पानी सप्लाई हो रहा है इसको बॉईल करके पिए। और लगातार लोग उपयोग कर भी रहे हैं, उसके बाद कम भी हुआ। साथ साथ ऐसा लोगों में थोड़ा बहुत डर भी है, भय भी रहा कि नर्मदा से के पानी से कहीं न कहीं उनको संकोच हो रहा था। तो हमने दूसरी टंकी से 50 टैंकर बुला के जगह जगह हम सप्लाई करवा रहे हैं, उसके माध्यम से जनता की व्यवस्था कर रहे हैं। और अभी आज सुखद है कि मरीज भी कम है, डेथ भी नहीं हुई, भगवान की कृपा भी है। और हमारे लगातार स्वास्थ्य विभाग के आशा कार्यकर्ता, आंगनबाड़ी कार्यकर्ता घर घर सर्वे कर रही, सैंपल ले रही। मेरा पत्र है, मैंने शिकायत करी थी और मुझे 3 साल पहले यहाँ पर जब मैं पार्षद चुना गया तो चुनाव में विषय था हमारा मुख्य रूप से कि हम जीतेंगे और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पूरा बदलेंगे, क्योंकि उस समय जगह जगह ड्रेनेज की लाइन, नर्मदा की लाइन टूटी फूटी थी। और वही पत्र मैंने 3 साल पहले भी दिया था।
So the recent laboratory tests have confirmed that the diarrhea outbreak in Indore, which has so far claimed about 13 lives and have affected over 200 people, was caused by contaminated drinking water. Indore's Chief Medical and Health Officer, Dr. Madhav Prasad Hassani, said that a report was prepared by a city-based medical college that found that water samples collected from Bhagirathpura area were contaminated due to a leak in the main supply pipeline. Let's discuss this matter with an expert joining us here, HOD of Infectious Diseases, MBBS, MD, AIMS, and also DM, Dr. Ankita Baidia. Thank you so much, Dr. Baidia, for joining us here for the conversation. Ma'am, I want to understand from you how dangerous these bacteria that we have already informed our viewers about are for the gut system, and can they turn fatal? If they have, like in this case, how long does it take a bacteria to become fatal for someone's life?
So actually, the sewage contaminated water, if somebody is taking, there are chances of different infections like E. coli infections, Shigella, Salmonella, typhoid. So all these infections can be there, which can be deadly if there is severe dehydration because of loose motions or vomiting, and if it is not taken care at the right time. So then there are chances that we can lose the patients. So the main concerns are like food, these are food and waterborne diseases. So if like somebody consume this, the common symptom that somebody has is fever and diarrhea, and also vomiting. So that leads to poor oral intake, and the patient can succumb because of severe dehydration. Apart from this, like if I talk about other infections like cholera, these are also waterborne diseases, and can cause gut infection presenting as infectious gastroenteritis to us. So important is to have consumption of clear, uncontaminated water.
Right. Also, Dr. Baidia, what we've been given to understand is that the authorities are now suggesting people from the affected area to boil the water to make it warm before it is safe for consumption. Do you think boiling is going to be enough for all of these bacteria which have been found from the sample yet?
So yes, many times the boiling of water just can help us to decontaminate the water and kill these bacteria and also inactivate the toxins. But sometimes it is also required to have adequate filtration system for the bacteria, because there are certain heat resistant spores
Yes.
that is there in certain bacteria, and again it can still cause infection. If those spores are there, it can germinate when they get adequate environment in the gut, in the stomach, and then it can cause infection. So it is not 100% just safe just to consume a boiled water, but yes, immediate measure till the time everything is in place, this can be done at local setting.
Right. Also, these bacteria, let me just walk you through the names. Fecal coliform bacteria, E. coli bacteria, the Klebsiella is what we've been given to understand. It has been found from these samples, and also Vibrio cholerae. So, can you tell us more about it? The mutation rate of these bacteria once they have entered the human system, how fast they can mutate, and what could be, the challenges the human body will face once these bacteria have attacked those bodies?
So the thing is, we know Klebsiella can be multi-drug resistant. In fact, there was earlier a concept of a metallo-beta-lactamase higher antibiotic resistance called carbapenem resistance has been very commonly seen with Klebsiella. So that is antimicrobial resistance is highly common with Klebsiella. Now this bacteria getting into the gut system and then mutating there with like certain resistance transfer mechanism is there with the bacteria itself. So getting a drug resistance, or we know that a lot of restrictions are not there in the antibiotic in our setting, and the people get over the counter antibiotic also. So then the chance of getting a drug resistant infection, antibiotic resistant infection is high. Cholera, on the other hand, can be severely dehydrating because we know it causes severe mass amount of watery diarrhea. So there is a lot of chances of having this diarrhea-related dehydration, especially in cholera. Also, in cholera, the choice of antibiotics are different. Like most of the cases are self-limiting, but at all, if it is required, it is doxycycline. Again, self-medication is not to be done. Always a doctor should be involved, and the simple test like a wet mount, a hanging drop can help in identifying the infection, whether it is cholera or a non-cholera induced diarrhea.
Dr. Vaidya, in India, we have this problem of having one self-proclaimed doctor in each household, right? In such conditions, when people have started developing the initial stage of effects of, say, diarrhea or maybe the fever as well because of bacterial infection, what could be the first step that they should be doing? Because you have said that do not self-medicate yourself. Go to the doctor or a physician firsthand and get the consultation done. But what could be the first step that begins from house, apart from just boiling the water for consumption?
So first step is to ensure the hydration of the patient,
Okay.
that the adequate amount of oral fluids in one form or other has to be consumed by the patient. Some soft diet should be given to the patient. If like tongue is dry, the eyes are sunken, the skin is losing the turgor, that means the patient is dehydrated. Do immediately rush to a hospital emergency for any IV hydration if required for proper assessment of the patient. For fever, a simple paracetamol can be taken. But yes, I always say self medication can be dangerous rather than being helpful. So consult your doctor, but hydration status is what you can maintain at home. If somebody is having loose motion, ask him to drink good amount of oral rehydration solution. A lot of them is available in the market. At home, you can prepare it by mixing sugar, salt, and slightly lemon we can say, but yes, sugar and salt both should be there. ORS, the quantity of these sugar and salt is very standardized for proper absorption of the salt in the body system. So that's why it is more recommended. But yes, if it is not available in the local setting, you can still go with a simply called nimbu pani, the lemonade sort of the with sugar and salt mixed to it.
And what about the most vulnerable age group for the attack of such bacteria, and also how can they recover from it? Because we have heard that some children, some infants have also succumbed to the bacterial infection.
Actually, children are very vulnerable for dehydration and such kind of gut infection, because most of the time we see that they have viral diarrhea, and we have taken a lot of measures also with vaccination with rotavirus in the children. But these are bacterial diarrhea requiring sometimes antibiotic, can cause dysentery because in the children, because we know that the gut system is not very healthy in children. They are still developing the immunity, and as such can be fatal for children. So it is important that if any dysentery, blood or mucus is mixed in the stool, there is fever including diarrhea, that means we are dealing with invasive diarrhea. Or invasive diarrhea means that we require certain form of antibiotics in most of the time, and as such, according to the like a doctor prescription, you can go ahead with the treatment and may require antibiotics. So that should be also discussed with the doctor if at all it is required after proper assessment.
Okay. Dr. Baidia, also you must have already heard of the case that over 13 people have succumbed to the infections, and more than 200 have been affected because of this water consumption. I want to understand from you, is just one encounter with this affected and contaminated water enough to just kill the system entirely, or is this because of a prolonged period of exposure to such water?
So it depends. The gut immunity also depends. The same water being maybe have been consumed by 50 people, but 13 people got sick, dehydrated. So the local gut immunity also plays role. But yes, even a single exposure to certain infectious agent can be bad for the gut and can cause infectious gastroenteritis requiring urgent attention.
Right. Dr. Baidia, thank you so much for joining us here for the conversation and providing us an answer through the expert's lens. We got all the details and answers to all the mounting questions over this case at the moment.